It's October 19th, 2019, just one day after Lornemas as of this recording, and I'm back. That's right, it's your boy. It's ya boy. It's your boy. It's me, Wes Most, and this is Moast Questionable presented by Bakeline. We have a ton to cover, and hopefully we get to it before Lorne is released, catfished, and subsequently arrested again. In this edition of Moast Questionable, we will cover a response to Cat G, the announcement of a new series, and the truth concerning the whereabouts of unabashed egomaniac and deputy director of the annual Eureka, California KKK County Fair, Taffy Pool, and Bake Sale, Big Salmon. Without any further ado, let's ask some motherfucking questions. At the end of episode 1 of Most Questionable, I asked Cat G what she wanted to see me cover in the next video. Cat G, if you're listening, let me know what you would like to see me analyze next, and Yap Yap, if you're listening. And she wanted something about Chris Hansen, because she's a sadist. Well, I feel like this dead horse has already been beaten enough to tenderize the meat into a fine pate. There is in fact an update. Sure, we know he's a scammer, deadbeat fraud with a moral compass that's either pointing to his dick or a bounced check, but in recent months, the Chris Hansen we once knew and loved has sadly passed away. In his place is the shell of a man, desperately pandering to the audience of IRL streamers in an attempt to gain more followers.
New York City, and tonight we continue to take a look into the live streaming IRL community.
What does this have to do with child predators, online safety, or those new investigations that have been teased ad nauseum forever? Fuck you, that's what. If the initial money grab accusations, copyright strikes, racist sympathizing, and doxing were the first cracks in an already crumbling career, this latest turn is sure to be the final nail in the coffin. This isn't just my opinion. Check the comments of any of the latest streams and you will see this is ballooned into much more than just a small, niche group of TCAP fans who are confused about what they are seeing on a weekly basis. What in the red hot fuck is this show about anyway?
Gamers are people who sit and play video games for hours and hours and hours, and they don't.
I don't want to spend any more time on this than I already have, but let me just leave you with this one thought. In October, you see I can't find the actual date of this program because for whatever reason it's been scrubbed from YouTube, but Chris Hansen had a Muslim porn star on the show glamorizing the life of an adult movie star. Now, I am in no way anti-porn or anti-Muslim while we're at it, and as a matter of fact, I've consulted with several adult dating websites in the past few years alone. But should a man who purports to protect and care about the children have a guest on his show waxing poetically about an industry that has admittedly had a hand in the exploitation and abuse of countless children and teens since its inception? No, of course he shouldn't. But if Chris has made anything perfectly clear in the last 6 months since he drunkenly dad stumbled his way onto YouTube, the only thing more ruined than his legacy is his credit rating. I would like to offer my condolences to Tad, Chip, Duke, and little Dickie Hansen. Your father wasn't a great man. He wasn't a great reporter. Hell, he especially wasn't great at hiding his infidelity. But he did do one thing great. He introduced the world to Catch a Predator.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
All right, how are you doing?
What's happening?
And if there was an award for most zingers delivered to pedophiles, the award would most certainly go to Christopher Tyrone Hansen.
I was going to Atlantic City.
So you like to gamble?
Yeah, I love to gamble.
You took a little bit of a gamble coming in here tonight.
No, Jared Fogle. I said most zingers delivered to a pedophile, not the pedophile who ate the most zingers. You can sit down too, Twink Toilet. So long, Chris. We may not have had a future, but we will always have Bowling Green. But what now? In the past few months, there have been fascinating stories in the news highlighting the lengths people are willing to go through to seduce and sleep with minors. Exploits so extreme, so bold, that they make a 420-page chat log seem minimal in comparison. While I understand that the RV exploits of some IRL jackass may be more relevant to hunting predators, we at the staff of Moast Questionable decided to deep dive these topics in a new series tentatively titled Deep Diving with Wes Most.
Deep diving with Wes Most.
Here are just a few of the stories we are looking into. In the fall of 2014, 22-year-old Florida nanny Marissa Mowry was over the moon with the birth of her healthy baby boy. While the father was seemingly not in the picture, Marissa doted on her son until the baby daddy suddenly came forward in 2017 with startling news. He had in fact fathered Marissa's baby when he was just 11 years old, and she was hired to look over him as a live-in nanny. Soon after, she began a sexual relationship with her charge, engaging in unprotected sex, resulting in a pregnancy with the very child she was being paid to protect and nurture. What happened to Marissa in the months and years since this announcement was made? Was the young boy lying about his relationship with his former nanny? Where is that child now, and where is Marissa Mowry? We'll be deep diving this topic coming soon.
Deep diving with Wes Most.
We will also take a look at the shocking story of Indiana man Tommy Lee Jenkins. In early October 2019, Tommy, a previously convicted sex offender, was arrested by the FBI after he had embarked on a 351-mile journey to meet Kyrie, a lonely 14-year-old girl in tiny Neenah, Wisconsin. Surely, while 351 miles is quite a distance for some underage tale, others have traveled further in the past only to be met by Chris Hansen and the TCAP cameras.
It's electrifying.
But what makes this case unique? Tommy was so desperate to bed his teenage lover, he walked 351 miles from Whitestown, Indiana, to his ultimate arrest in Winnebago County, Wisconsin. When Kyrie was unwilling or unable to leave her family behind to meet him, Tommy, a former Wisconsin resident, put one foot in front of another and eased on down the yellow brick road to what will most likely be decades in prison. What did he say to Kyrie during his journey? How many children did he plan on having with this teen? And finally, what were the charges Tommy Lee Jenkins was arrested for in 2011 and a slap on the wrist in the form of probation? We'll be deep diving this topic as well.
Deep diving with Wes Most.
Staying in the chief state of Wisconsin, we will look into a story that has intrigued me since news broke over the summer and was quickly brushed aside. In January of 2016, Portage County resident Jeremiah Button was just weeks away from a jury trial for first-degree sexual assault, child incest, and possession of child pornography stemming from an arrest in 2014. Freed on a laughably low $25,000 cash bond for 18 months prior to his trial, Jeremiah Button seemingly vanished into thin air. Why was Jeremiah Button allowed out on bond, considering prior to sexually assaulting his young niece, he had been arrested in 2005 for possession of child pornography? At any rate, speculation ran wild regarding the whereabouts of Jeremiah Button as the police and public made annual appeals for help in apprehending this dangerous predator. The trail ran icy cold until a warm day in August when a concerned hunter in Marathon County, Wisconsin, called law enforcement due to a disturbing find not far off a popular trail. He had discovered a well-hidden bunker, fully stocked, clearly lived in, and decidedly creepy.
I walked up to the door, pushed it open, saw all the stuff in there. I'm like, wow. Turned the light on my phone, started walking in there. I saw him move. I saw him move in the bed. I backed out, and man, I was just shaking.
Just put yourself in this dude's shoes for a minute. He sounds calm as fuck right now, but I would imagine that if any of us came to some creepy ass literal cabin in the woods, the last thing you would do is step inside with your cell phone camera out ready to investigate. Great job, Scoop Brady. I'm only surprised he didn't wake Button up from a mile away with the clanking sound of his gigantic balls. Give this guy a fucking medal. After a 20-minute standoff with police, Jeremiah Button had been discovered living in that holdout bunker, complete with the standard dusty cans, soiled mattress, and a radio. More surprisingly, he also had solar panels, LED lighting, electronic components, a complicated cooling system, a computer, and perhaps in the most what the fuck moment of all, a bike-powered generator for the days his solar panels were unable to produce enough electricity to power his home. Jeremiah Button had survived for 3.5 years on the run while avoiding his court date for his own perversions. Another what the fuck moment? Even after his arrest for child pornography in 2005, his arrest for incest and child pornography in 2014, and his years-long evading of the law, Jeremiah Button was held on just $100,000 bond upon being rearrested in August of 2019. Did Jeremiah have help during his evasion of the law? What did authorities find in his bunker? And what were those original charges that led to his first arrest back in 2005? This will be the first story we tackle on Deep Diving with Wes Most, and much more will be covered.
Deep Diving with Wes Most.
Can I just say, what the fuck, Wisconsin? Between former Wisconsin resident and convicted child predator Tommy Lee Jenkins walking 351 miles to meet his doom, and convicted child predator Jeremiah Button living like a fucking perverted Robinson Crusoe for over 3.5 years, you're gonna give Florida man a run for his money for the most head-scratching pedo fucks on the planet. If these two extreme repeat offenders don't illustrate the need for tougher laws against sexual predators, I don't know what will. Yo, Jorge, I meant like tougher legislation or chemical castration, but you just... Hold on, let me check this out real quick.
His March 7th arrest, Porto Sierra said he arrived at the motel to, quote, barbecue all the child molesters on fire and kill them. West 2 confirms at least 2 of the 4 victims are convicted sexual offenders. Witnesses told deputies Porto Sierra made several threats, screaming, quote, I'm going to kill you, child molester, and began throwing gasoline on their front door.
Huh. Well, there is definitely a story there. You know what? I'm going to need to deep dive this one too.
Deep Diving.
Shut the fuck up!
Finally, I want to address the rumors. As some of you may have heard, Baked Salmon has been fired from Bakeline. While we at Moast Questionable would rather sip our tea than spill it, I will neither confirm nor deny that it was due to his copious drinking, legendary womanizing, racist viewpoints, no Baked Salmon, this is not my baby photo, or sexual harassment of former lead Bakeline anchor, Nancy Tom. I will say this, Baked Salmon was an alcoholic, philandering, racist, sexual deviant who ruined the career of Nancy Tom. There, I said it. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
We at Bakeline and Moast Questionable wish him good riddance and nothing but the worst as he moves on to fuck up the culture of yet another news organization. Unless, of course, the powers that be decide to bring him back. And in that case, welcome back, Baked Salmon. We missed you so much. I'm Wes Most, and for all of us at Moast Questionable, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to show that questionable taste, like and subscribe for more. This message was paid for by a grant from Durango Mango. Here in Maine, we like things a bit old-fashioned. Family values, neighborly smiles, a warm hello, and a population that proudly has more black bears than black people. And with Lauren Armstrong's help, we can keep it that way. A vote for Lauren Armstrong is a vote for simpler times, with a chicken pie in every oven and a legal age of consent of just 12 years old. This year, vote for change. Vote for pride. Vote for Lauren, and let's keep Maine mainly white.
My name is Lord Armstrong, and I'm proud to be white.
Fuck that guy.